gaming on mobile has never been better. The power of these devices these days means we are getting closer and closer to console parity. However, let's be honest, actually gaming on mobile isn't always ideal. Nobody likes touch controls, and don't get me started on motion controls. So that is why I have tended to throw a controller in my bag when I plan playing while traveling. But this comes with its own issues when it comes to propping up your device. But today, I might have the answer in this, the Z331 by ZIKE, a mobile stretch controller designed for iOS and Android. It has Hall effect thumbsticks, 2 programmable back buttons, clickable face buttons, and more importantly, takes gaming on mobile to the next level by giving us a more familiar handheld console experience. Now, in this video, I aim to give you all the information you need to help you decide if the ZIKE Z331 is something that you are interested in. To do this, I will be reviewing the controller in the usual 4 main categories, talking pros and cons in each, all before giving my overall thoughts at the end. At this point, I will mention that this controller was sent to me by ZIKE for the purposes of this review. But this has had no impact on the content of this video or my views expressed in it. If you do find yourself being interested, I have left the product linked to the controller itself in the description. And ZIKE have also been kind enough to offer my subscribers a discount simply by using the code that I have also left in the description of this video. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's get into it. As mentioned in the intro, we will be reviewing the Z331 in 4 categories, starting off with the price, as let's be honest, this is a very important factor when considering a purchase. Secondly, the design and key features, and touching on aesthetics and also ergonomics. Thirdly, the customization, and then finally, the playtest. How is it under use? Let's get started and talk about the price. And in the UK, the Z331 will set you back around £50, which isn't the cheapest. But what do you get included for your purchase? Well, not much to be honest. We get the controller, of course, the instruction manual, and that's it. So yeah, for the money, we don't get too much in the way of a package. Maybe it would be nice to possibly see some thumbstick caps included, or even a carry case or pouch to protect the controller when you're out and about. But enough about the price. To really gauge the quality of the controller, we need to talk about what it can do. So let's move on to the design and key features. As usual, we start with the aesthetics, and as you can see, it's largely white, with offset sticks, and it really gives me Xbox 360 vibes, even down to the coloured face buttons. It also has black on the thumbsticks, triggers, bumpers, and of course, the large area front and centre where you place your device. We also have some nice rubber grips here to give protection to your device, as well as creating a snug fit. I feel they nailed it here, as I had no problem with my phone ever feeling like it was going to slip out. Onto the back, and we can spot 2 back buttons, which are placed well enough in my opinion. And you may have noticed the texture grip on the controller grips. Again, I always appreciate this on a gamepad, so I am glad to see this here. Although it is lacking on the triggers as well as the bumpers. A minor gripe, just something I personally prefer. Moving on to the key features that the Z331 has to offer, and we have to first talk about its cross-platform functionality. Yes, this controller is compatible with iOS as well as Android and on PC via a wired USB connection. We will touch on how it performs later on, but for now I had a very easy time connecting to my device with it working flawlessly. Next we have to mention the Hall effect thumbsticks, which as you will know by now if you've seen my videos before, can virtually eliminate stick drift, meaning no unintended inputs while playing, which is awesome, but on the other hand it means you have only yourself to blame if you mess up. We also have 2 programmable back buttons, which can be bound to mimic any of the actions of the face buttons. This is becoming more and more of a necessity these days, not only for their competitive advantage, but also it just feels more natural to me, well now it does anyway, rather than using the face buttons. ZIKE has also added a handy little feature, where the USB-C where you connect to your device has some give on it, allowing it to move up and down or forward and back, depending on how you're looking at it. Which means 1, it's easier to slip into your device, and 2, it's less likely to come loose. Quickly rounding out the rest of the features, and we have a couple of nice inclusions for those competitive gamers out there. Firstly, a 1000Hz polling rate setting, and also a hair trigger setting. Now I know what you're thinking, Who's looking at this to play competitively? But nonetheless, some pretty cool inclusions. It also has built-in rumble motors and a lightweight design that comes in at only 192 grams, which is great because you will be carrying this around. So although it does have a relatively high price, the Z331 brings it back with some great features, some of which you may not expect to see on a device like this, such as the back buttons for example. Now it's time to move on to our third review area and check out if there's anything we can do to customize the controller. Well, unfortunately, there isn't too much to shout about for customization. No added accessories or extra covers or anything. But of course, we do have the option to program our back paddles, allowing us to suit the controller to our playstyle. We can also set the triggers to the hair trigger setting if we would prefer. At the end of the day, I wasn't expecting too much in this category, as, let's be honest, it isn't the kind of thing ZIKE were aiming for here. But anyway, let's move on to the last review area, the playtest. How is it under use? As, again, let's be honest, this is the most important part of a controller review. In hand, it feels quite nice. It's light, and for me, it fits my hand that bit better than a compatible device like the Nintendo Switch, which does tend to make my hands cramp after a while of use. The thumbsticks are a little small for my liking, but do feel pretty good. They have a slight rubber texturing around the edges, which I am also pleased about. The face buttons are membrane, which means they have that cushioned feel. I prefer the clicky micro switches, but these are satisfying enough. The same can be said in regards to the D-pad, triggers and bumpers. Not the best I've ever used, but for a handheld device, designed for on-the-go use, they feel relatively robust and do the intended job. I played a number of titles on the ZIKE Z331, with none of them feeling out of place. And with the advent of platforms like Xbox Game Pass and online game streaming, a device like this has never been more viable. Well, if your internet is up to the job, that is. Again, as soon as I connected this to my phone, it worked straight away. No fuss, no problem. They've even left this pretty handy information sticker on the controller itself, so you remember how to set it up to connect to different devices, which is a nice touch. Gaming on the go is meant to be easy and satisfying, and in this regard, ZIKE has nailed it. So after 4 review sections, what are my overall thoughts on this stretch controller from ZIKE? Well, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It makes using your phone for gaming easy and satisfying. It connects easily thanks to its movable USB-C connection, while throughout my testing, I never once felt like my device was going to come loose. It also has some pretty standout features compared to other stretch controllers on the market, namely Hall effect thumbsticks and of course, them all-important back buttons. Now, for what it isn't the cheapest. And there isn't any real way to customize the controller or any other goodies thrown in to sweeten the deal. But in totality, with the Z331, ZIKE have managed to give us exactly what they'd set out to. A device that just makes gaming on mobile better. But hey, that's just my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys all think about the Z331. Remember to drop a comment to let me know your opinion. And of course, remember the discount code that I have left in the description if you are interested. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like and of course subscribe to see more controller videos just like this one right here talking about the GameSir Cyclone 2. But that's it guys, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. But until the next time, I'll catch us.